Welcome to another Midlex moment with Mr. Monday Isikuele. One of our clients who recently gained victory at the National Industrial Court sitting in Benin City. It was a long legal battle, but at the end of the day, he gained victory. Right now, we're discussing about how the matter started, how he felt, and how the proceeding went through, and how he feels now that he has gained victory. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome everyone to this special interview section with one of our clients just got victory in Nigerian Industrial Court. My name is Sabat Samson, the host of this interview section. I have here my co-hosts. Yes, we have our special client right here. I tag him special because of the victory story he's here to tell us today. Sir?
My name is Isikuele Monday Isidahome.
You're welcome,
He's
sir.
in Benin.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Let me just quickly go straight to it. Before we commenced your case, how was the situation, the situation that we eventually, that you had victory on? How were you feeling about it so far before then?
Well, I must tell you the truth. It was actually devastating because coming from the background, a job I've done for close to 25 years.
Wow.
And since this period I'm talking about, I've never had any cause to be confronted or queried by the authority. You could understand that level, only for me to be suddenly thrown out of the job. So it was devastating because my integrity was at stake. My source of livelihood was also taken away.
Obviously.
And you could understand the implication of that on me, my family, and all my dependents. So it was something you sleep and wake up with.
I just heard something. You said the case has been for over 25 years.
No, the job.
Okay, your job itself.
My work.
Okay, so how long has this case been going on?
This didn't happen 11 years ago. That was 2014.
11.
To be precise, July.
Wow.
11 years ago.
Wow.
But the case was instituted 4 years ago.
Okay.
So that is the.
So during this time of this whole case, what was the challenges? Some of the challenges you faced during this trial processes and all of that?
Like I explained to you earlier, it was not really convenient because when you have a family to take care of and suddenly the source of doing that is taken away, it will put you on your toes and it affects your psychology, your emotions and everything. So it was not really easy, so I tried to put things together so that I can work out, source and means of going on with life. It was not easy. It was not really easy.
Wow. I can only imagine. Can you just quickly tell us how this case affected your daily life?
Like I said, when you have a case like this, your integrity is involved, is questioned. And those who knew me for many years, we live in a country where people don't really have absolute trust, especially when the chips are down. Some will say, are you sure? So I say, well, that man is upright. So things like this were coming to my head every day. How will I come out of this? I call it the lion's den.
Of course.
Yes, I call it the lion's den. And I wake up with it. I sleep with it. There's no day my mind will not reflect on it. But it's a case.
Yeah.
It's a case.
Okay. While this case was ongoing in court, how did you feel about the process?
Yes. As a matter of fact, before we instituted that case, we call it a divine move. And that's even what my lawyer called it. He says a walk of faith. Actually, I got a vision in the night In that vision, I was told, "Why are you sleeping over this case?" And the voice came thrice. So that morning, as we were coming out, me and my wife is a medical, is a nurse with UBTH. So my lawyer parents, the father in particular, called me that they wanted to see my wife for some medical advice. And that's okay, they should just meet us up. So as soon as they came, the first question he asked me was that how far about my matter? And I hope you are not sleeping over it. So that was what ignited the move. And I said, yesterday night, this was my vision. Don't sleep over this case. And this morning you are telling me, hope you are not sleeping over the matter. So he actually ignited the move, and we started it off.
Wow.
And during the case, I had some level of faith and confidence that I'll definitely come out shining and victorious.
And indeed, you came out victorious.
Indeed. Faith and confidence. Now, I think this is what so many people today they've lost in the judicial system. And we want you to advise quite a lot of people today. I think a lot of Nigerians, they lost faith in the Nigerian judicial system. So what is your advice for them?
And well, it's unfortunate that the branded Nigeria is such a way that suggests that corruption is sitting in every facet and fabric of this country. But I want to tell the general public that we still have some pious, responsible people in the system, especially in the judiciary system. And I can attest to that, having passed through the process, and I have every cause to say the Nigerian judiciary, they are upright. And my advice to those who may have one case or the other with the court, they shouldn't lose hope, especially when they know that they have evidence, because courts work with evidence. And if you have evidence, I think you should pursue your case with faith and confidence, believing that definitely you come out victorious.
I think I picked something inside your statement when you said there are still some responsible persons inside the judicial system.
Yes.
And I think that throws me to my next question, talking about the legal team that took over this your matter. In fact, they handled it with so much care and precision, and for you to come out victorious, imagine they must have done a lot of assignments and they've done their own work. So what can you say about them, sir?
In fact, I own the medical team appreciation, gratitude, because it's a team, I can say they remain unbeatable. They are committed, intentional, consistent, prayerful, and their work is backed up with faith. I want to personally commend the head of that team, Barrister Abednego, who took it upon himself. He acted beyond the draw line to ensure that this case come up and we have victory over the matter. So the team, they didn't rest in their hours. They worked day and night. I can still remember sometimes they would invite me in the evening, we'll stay here till almost night, rubbing mind, asking me questions. And today we have cause to say they've done well. They've done well.
So generally to the company, word for them, the Midlex.
The Midlex, I want to appreciate the Midlex. Like I said, it's a full complex of men and women of integrity. And I want to also advise that this enthusiasm, the vigor with which they handle issues, the tenaciousness and intensity shouldn't be, taken as a joke. They should keep it up, because I see them going beyond the sky in the nearest future.
Indeed. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Monday Isikuele. And from all your success story or the victory story, we can say indeed that judiciary is really the last hope of the common man. And to you out there, maybe you feel you've lost hope, I want to tell you categorically from the review and of Mr. Monday Isikuele that there is still hope for you out there. You must have lost hope in the judiciary system, and I want to tell you that make out that time. If your matter it needs to be pursued, do it, and ensure you do it with the like he mentioned, the responsible thing. The Midlex group is that legal partner that you can choose for all your legal matters. But then, until our next interview, remain blessed and stay cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.